Hello, everyone. As you are coming in, say hello. If you are watching the replay, feel free to interact and leave me a question or comment as well, so they are left in the group for me to try and answer, even though Facebook sometimes does not do well with notifications. But here I am live to answer your questions about using essential oils safely and to help you on your journey. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to hop on in. I will do my best to answer them. My name is Leah Jacobson. I'm a certified clinical aromatherapist, and I started, just like a lot of you, with a family, with young children, and just wanting to learn how to use essential oils safely for myself and for my kids. And then, of course, it blossomed into what we have here, where I am teaching others what I learned on how to use essential oils safely. So if you have any questions, there's no stupid questions, feel free to dive in. Meanwhile, as you are typing them in, as you are thinking them up, I will be taking some questions that are already pending in the group from the weekend and answering those for you. So these are questions that you may have as well. So go ahead and type those in. Hey, Brenda, so good to see you. So the first question that I'm seeing here is a question from Shannon asking, what is an essential oil that is 100% safe to put in my diffuser with a newborn in the room? So that is a great question. I'm going to go ahead and actually tag her in here right now so that she can go ahead and, let me see, inserting you here so that she can find her question answered. So first of all, we generally recommend that you avoid using essential oils around children under the age of 6 months, just as a general rule. Their lungs are very small, they're just new to the world, and we want to be very careful that we do not overwhelm them. In our learning center, which you can find by going to leahjacobson.com/learn, you can find out more by clicking on the children's tab. But as far as children, there are a lot of safe essential oils that you can diffuse. Orange is one, geranium is another, frankincense. There's a bunch of different ones that are safe for all ages and safe for children to inhale. But be mindful of their age. Just because it's safe for all ages doesn't mean that we shouldn't still be very careful. There are inhalation guidelines, so if you are diffusing, you want to follow those guidelines of 10 minutes on and 20 minutes off. Again, not to overwhelm the body. Water is wonderful for us to drink, but we don't need to be drinking 8 ounces every hour. Too much is too much, and we have to be careful of that. And you can find inhalation guidelines in our learning center as well under inhaling. So just go to leahjacobson.com/learn for a lot more information than my answers here can provide for you. Oh, awesome. Let's see, Brenda's asking a question here. Let me go ahead and put her question up here for everyone to see. How should I use hydrosols for pink eye? That is a great question. So I recommend spritzing the hydrosols on a closed eye, or what you can do is spritz the hydrosols on a cotton round or a cotton ball and wipe it on a closed eye. You want to make sure that the hydrosols don't really get in the eye too much. Some hydrosols do contain a small amount of alcohol or preservatives, and that can sting if it gets into the eye. So be careful of that, but that is definitely something that you can swipe over a closed eye. And there are several hydrosols that could be great for that. I don't know what ones you have on hand, so let me know and I can be helpful with letting you know which ones out of the ones you have can work. Great question. And for those of you who don't know also, we do have a hydrosols area in our learning center that you can access as well. And it has some basic information for hydrosols. Super. So if you are here live and you have any questions for me, dive right into the comments so that I can answer your question for you. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and answer another question from our pending posts here in this group. Okay, so this is another good question from Stephanie. Let me go ahead and tag her here as well. This question is, I have a 16-month-old, also a 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old. I've only started diffusing for brief periods in a large room, only lavender. Are others safe for baby? I also clean with them, but treat them like any chemical in that context. Thanks. That is good. We should always be careful to use essential oils and treat them as medications or chemicals because they can have adverse reactions and we need to be careful. Obviously, they have their place. There's amazing benefits, but when it comes to children, we want to be super careful. So I would answer your question, Stephanie, similar to Shannon's, where I would point you to the Learning Center and click on the Children's tab for more information. But yes, there's a lot of essential oils that are safe for children that you can diffuse, especially when we're talking 16 months old. There are also some that I would avoid, ones like cinnamon bark, clove, eucalyptus, peppermint. Some of those can be problematic, even for adults. So it's always a great idea to check the safety of the specific essential oils that you are using, but you definitely can use more than just lavender. There are quite a few pretty common essential oils that are safe for everyone. And I'm glad you mentioned, Stephanie, that you are diffusing for brief periods because we always want to make sure that we are not over diffusing and not overexposing ourselves or our children to too many essential oils at once. Okay, so lavender, Brenda. So that is perfect. That would be a fantastic one to use for pink eye. And if you know your hydrosol does not contain alcohol, you actually can spritz it directly on the eye and then blink a few times and kind of get that in your eye as well. And it can be used as an eye wash. But don't try it unless you are positive that it doesn't have alcohol because that would not feel very good. Alrighty. So let's see. Yvonne. Okay, so I'm going to tackle Yvonne's question next, but you guys, you're here live. So guess what? That means you get first priority. So if you have any questions for me, please, sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. Apparently, I was trying to tag Yvonne. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to add them below. Hey, Lauren from England. Excited to have you here tonight. If there's anything, Lauren, that I can help answer for you, please let me know while I am here live. Yvonne's question is about essential oils in chapstick. I know we should ingest them, and it being so close to the mouth, I think she meant to say I know we shouldn't ingest them, and it being so close to the mouth, is it safe or not to use a chapstick with essential oils in it? The answer is, it depends on the essential oils. Yes, it can be fine and safe to use essential oils in chapsticks, but you need to be super careful that the essential oils that you choose to use if you are making your own or that the company chose to use as they are creating this formula are safe for you or whoever is using the chapstick. Again, there's plenty of options, but there are some essential oils that can be an issue, that can be problematic. So you always want to check the safety of the essential oils specifically. So if you can let me know, Yvonne, what essential oils we are talking about, I can be more helpful. Meanwhile, I'm going to point everyone over to the EO single safety files and remind everyone that we do have a free level to check out over there. I believe there's 47, no, that may be the blends. There's at least 30 plus different singles that are available at the free level. So if you go over to leahjacobson.com/EO singles, scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see the list of essential oils that are free to access, and you can enter your name and email address for access instructions to view the free level so that you can understand the safety of some of the most popular essential oils. Awesome. Katie has a question. Essential oils for teething babies, or like which oils I can use on her and in her room. Super question. So I want to make sure everyone is aware that we do not recommend using essential oils in the mouth. This includes for teething for babies. I know clove is a super popular one to recommend rubbing on the gums, and while it's awesome and wonderful and effective for adult tooth pain, it's not recommended for children under the age of 2. So what I recommend for teething is a diluted topical application of lavender or copaiba on the outside of the jaw, and that can help. And there are a few other options as well over in our learning center when it comes to teething. So let me actually go ahead and walk you through that. So let's hop on over, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you all of the information. There's things, of course, like frozen peas and all of that, but let's go ahead over to the learning center. This is a good opportunity for me to show you exactly all the goodness in here, and we will zero in on teething. So this is our library, which you can find at leahjacobson.com/library is how you can get here, and just click access now on the learning center if you've already enrolled. Otherwise, you will want to enroll by clicking the not a member that would have been there if I didn't have access, or if you go to leahjacobson.com/learn to enroll. But you can find the teething information right here under children. Click teething and you can find remedies for teething. There is some information here on the clove essential oil that I just recommended avoiding a couple of minutes ago, and that explains more on that. And then here are some safe ways to relieve your baby's teething pain, including chamomile hydrosol, which you can put directly on the gums. You can put it in the mouth. Again, make sure it doesn't have alcohol added. It usually doesn't. The hydrosols 99.9% of the time will not have that. If you especially are using a reputable brand. Chamomile extract is another amazing thing that you can use. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit for those of you on mobile so that you can see a little bit better. I do have links here for the items that I personally recommend using. You can make chamomile tea popsicles. There's a bunch of ideas here that you can use: frozen washcloth, frozen peas, frozen banana, all of this. So you can use diluted lavender, as I mentioned. That's adding a drop or two of lavender essential oil in a 10 ml roller bottle. You can also use trauma oil applied to the outside of the jawline. That's amazing for pain as well. So lots of options here over in our learning center. You are very welcome. What brands are considered reputable? Stick to the hydrosols provided by companies that you would typically buy your essential oils from, not some weird off-brand off Amazon or even, in Walmart. Probably is not going to have something that's going to be as high quality. So wherever you purchase your essential oils from, I prefer to stay pretty much brand free, but it's just most of the hydrosols that you will purchase from essential oil companies that you purchase your essential oils from are fine. It's just the off chance that you have, some crazy Amazon hydrosol that could be sketchy. You just want to be super careful because hydrosols are water-based. They actually go bad a lot more quickly than essential oils. So you want to just be very careful. And if you want to PM me for a specific brand you have in mind, I would absolutely feel free to do that. I will absolutely answer you. Let's see. Essential oils. Yes. Yes, so Yvonne, I did answer your question. So I'm so glad you are here. So I would love to hear from you which essential oils that you are talking about. Because yes, it can be safe depending on the essential oils that you are using. You have to be careful of phototoxic reactions from certain essential oils. You may have medication interactions with certain essential oils. So I highly recommend running any of the essential oils that you have a question about by the EO Singles safety files. And there's a free level there. A lot of the common essential oils are there, but since you are here live, if you have any specific essential oils in mind that you are wanting to use, if you are creating your own, or if you have purchased one and you're wondering, is this safe? Please let me know, because safety is dependent on the essential oil itself. Some are not safe for pregnancy, some are not safe for kids. I already mentioned phototoxicity. So it really depends on the specific essential oils that are going to be used, if they're going to be safe or not. So please let me know what that is. Meanwhile, as you are typing out what those essential oils are, if anyone has any questions, just as a reminder, please let me know to leave them in the comments and I will do my very best to answer those. Meanwhile, I am answering pending questions that you have left in the group. Let's see. Another question that we have is, we have a lot of questions about children and essential oils. So I want to remind everyone that you can find so much information in our learning center. It takes less than 30 seconds to register. You will get an email with your access instructions. If you have a Hotmail email address, kind of gets a little weird with my system. They think a lot of Hotmail addresses are spam. So if you ever have a problem, just go ahead and email me. Let me leave my email address down here so that we can get you enrolled. And it's super easy. It's super fast. It's less than the time or about the same time as it took for you to register for Facebook. Really, really easy. Just allow your browser to save your password and you just have to click Access Now right on the Learning Center and get right in there. But there is information about children and a ton of other things in our Learning Center so that your questions can be answered. I see a lot of questions here pending that would absolutely be answered in the Learning Center, and it's absolutely free. Another question that we have here is about pets as well as children. Hannah's asking for essential oils that are safe for kids and pets. So let me go ahead here and answer you. So again, the Learning Center, click on children in the tab, and it's super, super easy. If you go to leahjacobson.com/learn, and then if you go to not a member, if you aren't a member yet, it's really, really easy to register. And you can also find information about pets there as well. Sorry, I'm clicking too many things. You can find information on pets there as well. It's just, there's a whole list of safe essential oils for kids, a whole list of safe essential oils for dogs, unsafe. I would be here several minutes just reading off those lists, so it's easier to just point you over there for the full and complete information. But yes, Hannah, you can use them as a fabric refresher. I like to add some essential oils to my wool dryer balls as I throw them in with my damp laundry in the dryer. That is one way. Another way is you can add it to your laundry detergent. Whether it's powder or liquid, you can add a few drops of essential oil in there as well. That is a safe way to use them too. So Jamie is asking, let's see if I can get away with using this word on video, on live, sorry. Answering you here. I don't think I'm that brave. Guys, listen, our group was completely deleted a few years ago. And when I hear some of my friends and colleagues, acquaintances, their groups literally being deleted as well, I am extremely, extremely careful when it comes to using keywords that Facebook doesn't like, such as that C thing that's been going around for several months. I'll just call it that. But yes, we have information in our learning center about that as well. If you are needing to find relief from symptoms that you may have related to the C thing that's been going around, you can also find some information in our recipes club as well. I do have some recipes available that can help with that. You can always feel free to email me. Facebook, as far as I know, is not in my email yet. So if you want to email me, I can be a lot more blunt and give you a lot more direct information than I am allowed to share in this group. Alrighty. Let's see. Baby safe way to use essential oils to protect against spiders. So normally we recommend using peppermint essential oil, a few drops on a cotton ball placed strategically in corners in your house. And this still can be something that you can use even though peppermint essential oil is not for under age 6, as long as they are in the corners that your baby is not crawling around to access. If your baby or your child under the age of 6 cannot smell the peppermint on that cotton ball that's for the spiders, then you're cool. You're okay. But that would be my recommendation. And that also is addressed in our learning center under pests. So I would like to again remind everyone that they can access the learning center here. Just click not a member to enter your info and get right in there. There's so much info, guys. Lots and lots of information. All right, great question, Lauren. For some reason, I can't click add to broadcast on your name, but Lauren is here live asking, isn't putting them in the dryer a fire risk? Do you have to dilute them before putting the dryer ball? No, you don't have to dilute. You can add directly to your ball. You can add directly to the towels. I recommend about 5 drops, 10 drops max, and it's not a fire risk. You are adding them to damp clothing, not dry clothing. And so there's no fire risk involved when you do that. Alrighty, let's see. So Kat, actually I don't think I tagged Meg, so let me do that super quick, just so that she can find where her question has been answered. Now I'm going to tag Kat. So Kat has a question about a specific brand. Hang on one second. Brand. And this is something that we generally prefer to avoid really discussing in this group because people get very heated. It's just like politics, just like religion. Essential oil brands are right up there with things that will cause people to become very heated. So I would like to point you, Kat, to our learning center, which you can access by going to leahjacobson.com/learn and clicking on the brands tab. I have information about brands helping you to decide who to purchase from. I'm just looking at the menu here. Why checking the safety matters. I have information on GCMS reports and third-party testing, pricing, therapeutic grade, and what does it mean. And then I have my opinion on some brands, take it or leave it. I have a list of brands that I have gone live about where I've literally walked you through the website and shown you the different red flags that I see or the different green flags that I see. And then you can download the How to Choose an Essential Oil Company checklist. This is something you can download, you can print out, you can hold it in front of you, and you can mark it up as you are walking yourself through the various websites from different brands. Then you can make your determination from there whether it's a company that you want to choose to spend your money with. The awesome thing is we can be picky. When it comes to brands, we can be so picky because there's hundreds and hundreds of different brands out there. So if we find a company that maybe recommends unsafe usage recommendations, especially for children, then we may want to choose a company that is a little more conservative. But that is completely up to you. So leahjacobson.com/learn. You can enroll, click the brands tab for more information. Let's see. So Kat, oh good, you're here. Woo! You saw my tag. That's amazing. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you were just here. Is there any way to get other opinions from the people of this group too? That's a great question. I am actually really glad you brought this up. So the reason that we have the group set up the way that we do is to make sure that you guys are getting safe and accurate information. With a group this size, you are going to get unlimited different opinions from everyone in this group. And that we have seen in the past, which is why we have implemented the way that we are doing this group, where we are tagging you right directly under the post that is admin approved, admin written, so that you can get the best information. If we allowed all of the posts to flood into the group like we did in the beginning, just like other Facebook admins, you just let people post questions and answer and talk amongst themselves, we saw a lot of unsafe information. And it was a lot of work for us to delete comments or reply to them saying it's not safe and explaining why. It was just a complete free-for-all. And we actually had members like you asking about brands, and everyone's opinion was there. And it just left people confused. They had no idea who to believe. They couldn't tell who the admins were. So that is why this group is different. This is why we generally, when it comes to most of your questions, will not just allow them into the group for a free-for-all. Because if you are asking about a specific brand, you are going to have people saying it's the best on earth. You're going to have people saying it's not the best. Use this one. It's just going to be a complete madhouse. So we have learned over the last several years, between this group and the one that was deleted and the previous one before that, it's been about 7 years we've had this group, or the other ones. So we've learned exactly how to manage a group this size to the point where we can answer your questions without causing you confusion. Now, there are plenty of questions that I post myself, like what size roller bottle do you like to use? Maybe what's your favorite way to use lemon essential oil? Certain questions where the chances of unsafe information are extremely, extremely low, and that keeps it less work for us and it keeps it safe and accurate for you. So I'm really glad you asked that question, and I hope that explains. If you want any further explanation or if you need any clarification, please let me know. Donna Lynn, yes, that's why you listen to the teacher. I've just found, it's so much better. You guys are here for answers, not for confusion, right? Answers, not for confusion. So that is what we want to provide for you. And unfortunately, because of Facebook rules, sometimes it's a little tricky, which is why we keep encouraging you to go over to the website where I have my own rules and I can talk about that C thing going around all I want to. I can talk about therapeutic properties, benefits, I can do recipes, all of this stuff over there that I can't do in the group without risking the group being shut down. Been there, done that, don't want to do that again. Awesome question. See, this is why I like your questions. So if you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to throw them in there because your questions can help others get their questions answered as well. Sarah's like, darn right. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So as you are typing your comments in, I am going to address more pending questions that were left in the group this weekend. Yet another question about children. And see, guys, this is exactly why, too, we also have the group set up the way that we do. Answering you here is because we get a lot of the same questions. So we have found and people were actually complaining several years ago before we implemented this system in the way that we're doing it. People were complaining that, around, spring and summer, it was all about, bug spray and ticks. And then as we get into fall, it was all about germs. And it was like, you keep scrolling and everybody has like the same question, it seemed. So that is why we created the one post We call it the tagging post, where your question is answered or where the information to where you can find more is answered, typically in our learning center, and we tag you in it so that you can learn more information. So we have another question from Alicia. She says she is a doula and would love to put together a small list of oils that can be diffused safely around a newborn for my clients. Is there somewhere specific I can find this information? Yes, so you can go right over to the Learning Center if you are not currently enrolled. It's super, super easy to do so. If you have any trouble, send me an email. I posted it a few minutes ago. It's really easy to enroll. If you go to leahjacobson.com/learn, you will find that page there. You can enter your info. If you click not a member, you can log in. After receiving the email, you can log in, and it's super, super easy, and there's a ton of information over there. But to answer part of your question, I generally don't recommend exposing newborns to essential oils until they are at least 6 months old. It's super important that they smell their mother, that they do not get overwhelmed with the aroma of essential oils, as well as the potential adverse reactions. They're just so little, so I highly recommend keeping the essential oils for the mom. You absolutely can do that via an inhaler. You can add essential oils here if you are in labor. That can help relax you and make you feel better. You can pull that personal inhaler out and you can give it a whiff. You add the essential oils right here to the wick inside the glass. You screw the top on. There's holes in the top, and you breathe it in as needed, and then you don't have to expose your newborn. But that being said, there are essential oils safe for children. You can find that by going to the Learning Center and clicking the Children's tab. There's also information, I mentioned labor. If you click the Pregnancy Breastfeeding tab, there's information over there as well. Guys, the Learning Center is a gold mine, so please take the couple seconds it takes to register and get in there for a ton of gold. And if you have any questions, that's really the best place to ask them, because I can be completely blunt with you and use the crazy keywords that Facebook doesn't want me to use and tell you benefits and therapeutic properties and give you that information. So that is where you can find that information. Okay, let's see. We have a question. Okay, so it's a follow-up from Kat. I totally hear you. Thank you for clarifying. Just like hearing all sides, both positive and negative. Obviously, I'll take heed and apply what the teacher has to say to my everyday practice. I just like to hear how everyone feels, I can understand that, and there are a lot of other groups out there where you can ask your opinions all day long, and if you want to balance everything, and that's fine. And you can ask a question in the group, and of course it's pending like we do and we tag, but if there are questions that we can ask that won't cause drama or conflict or negativity, or doesn't present any safety risk, then we absolutely can post it and we absolutely can share it. Alrighty, let's see. So some questions really cannot be answered or solved with essential oils. And here is one from Anna. As amazing as essential oils are, they are not for everything. Cindy's asking, will this be available to watch later? Just came on late. Absolutely, yes. This will remain in the group. You can absolutely rewatch it or start from the beginning if you missed the first half hour or so. Absolutely. So Anna's question, have been feeling tinnitus, a lot of itchiness inside ears for 2 weeks. Finally went to ENT and he said it's like dermatitis and prescribed some med drops. They make my ears feel horribly clogged. Help. So first of all, I absolutely do not recommend ever adding essential oils to your ears or inserting them into your ears, dripping them into your ears, even if diluted. Yes, I know there are essential oil companies out there which sell diluted essential oils that you are supposed to put in your ears for earache, and that is not safe. That is not recommended. There are herbal preparations that you can use instead. Garlic mullein infused oil, which is not an essential oil. It's literally herbs that have sat and usually olive oil and it's infused, it's sat there for a few weeks, and the properties from those herbs are infused into the oil, then strained, those are potent but safe to insert into your ear and drip into your ear. So that's what you could try. You can also use hydrogen peroxide. It's amazing. It's inexpensive and it really works. If you feel like you're coming down with something, if your ears feel funny, as long as you do not have a perforated eardrum, it is safe to add to your ears. So just tilt your head, add it. I like to lay down on a pillow, add a few drops. You can fill it all the way up and just let it sit. It will gurgle. By the way, it's super cold when you add it. I don't know what it is about room temp hydrogen peroxide. It is super, super cold. So be prepared. But it's very cleansing. It can help with the itchiness. It can help with killing the germs that are in your ear canal. So that is a tip that I have for you. But essential oils, unfortunately, I cannot recommend for adding into the ear. Okay, let's address this question from Christina about preservatives. Actually, I don't think that actually tagged properly. Give me 1 second. I did the @ but it didn't pop up. Otherwise, it's not. Okay, here we go. And then this one too. I just want to make sure they're properly tagged. If you have any questions, let me know so that I can answer those for you. Okay, that one's not working for now. Sometimes I can't tag. So the next question from Christina. I would like to make a mood spray that is half witch hazel and half distilled water with added essential oils, but I've been told I need a preservative for this, since anything mixed with water can cause bacteria and mold. Has anyone used something for hydrosol sprays? So here's the thing. If you are using a hydrosol and you are adding essential oils to it, or if you are using witch hazel and adding essential oils to it, you don't need a preservative. With water, you will. You can actually, but you don't, it depends what you're using it for. If it's a mood spray that you were spritzing in your room, it's fine. A linen spray, it's fine. If you're adding it to the skin, you want to be careful and add a little bit of carrier, but you don't need to add preservatives if you are adding essential oils directly to hydrosols. Think about it. If you are using hydrosols right on your skin with no preservative, and you're using essential oils diluted in a carrier or an inhaler or whatever, and you don't need a preservative, combining the two items that don't need a preservative does not create the need for a preservative. So if you are wanting a mood spray, I highly recommend, instead of using water, add hydrosols instead. It actually can enhance the mood spray a lot versus using plain water. I don't know which essential oils you have or which hydrosols you have, but definitely something calming if that's the mood you're looking for. Then I would recommend mixing those two together. We do have some information on preservatives. I think it's in the free level of the Recipes Club, which you can find at leahjacobson.com/recipes. And there are a couple of preservative options and emulsifying options over there if that's something you choose to use, but it typically is not going to be necessary. Let's see. So Mallory's question is about Mallory's question is, I bought balsam fir to diffuse and make my home smell like Christmas. Was wondering if anyone mixed other oils with it. I have a balsam cedar Yankee candle that smells amazing, but would rather essential oils instead, so I'm trying to recreate that. I would try adding frankincense to it. That mixes really great with firs, pines, spruces, and can help mimic your typical Christmas candle type aromas. If anyone else that's here live has any other recommendations, feel free to jump in. As always, make sure you are checking the safety of the essential oils that you are using. Balsam fir is absolutely safe for all ages, so is frankincense. But if anyone else is on here with any recommendations, just make sure that you are running the Safety by Our Singles safety files. You can find this at leahjacobson.com/eosingles. There is a free level available so that you can look up some essential oils on your own without having to pay for VIP access. If you choose to pay for VIP access, you get over 240 different essential oil safety files available to you. That's pretty much going to be just about every essential oil that you will probably be using so that you can know the safety of those essential oils. Okay, this is another, I keep saying, such a great question. It's like they're all really good questions. Answering you here. All right, so tagging Crystal, her question. And before I get to it, I just want to remind everyone, if you are here live, jump in with your questions. No matter how stupid you think it is, no matter how common or basic it is, if you have a question, there's probably somebody else here watching the live or the replay that's going to have that, and you will have answered that for them by asking the question. And then everyone can be helped. So please feel free, you are here live, pick my brain while I'm here live. Crystal's question is, what helps reduce extreme muscle spasms and joint pain due to chemo? Anyone have any luck or know what has helped others? So it's important to remember, and this is a really great example of why we don't allow these questions in the group. You will probably have a ton of different opinions, and that's fine, but a lot of people aren't going to know that you should not be using essential oils while on chemo. We generally recommend avoiding between 2 to 4 weeks before and after treatment. So unfortunately, essential oils are not going to be for you during this time, but you can look for herbal substitutes and other things that can be helpful during this time. Actually, magnesium in a powder form, Calm Magnesium, is absolutely amazing for muscle spasms, for leg cramps. And let me actually pull up let's see. Calm Mag. So this would actually be the one that I would recommend. This is a link directly to the Calm brand of magnesium on Amazon. Absolutely amazing supplement, and the reason why I recommend this, you can add it to your water. It is pre-flavored. It's a raspberry lemon flavor. It's a little bit tart in a way. It's not overly sweet, but it's absolutely amazing. My son loves it. If he ever gets leg cramps, this is his first go-to. A lot of the supplements that are magnesium supplements, they just don't work very well when consumed, but this will work within just a few minutes. So that would be something that you could use that is not going to have an interaction with the chemo that you're on. Another thing you can try is arnica gel. That could be something as well that you could apply to your legs. Arnica lotion as well can help with pain. So that would be something else that I would recommend for you. All right, Katie. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Let me go ahead and tag Katie. Answering you here. Katie's question is about, let's see. This is a particular brand that I haven't seen before, so I'm going to actually go ahead and look it up. But they're basically the vape sticks. And if you have ever seen them, they pretty much look like a cigarette. And they are something that generally, I'm actually going to go to their website because, there's different ones out now. This one is saying it's a personal diffuser. Some of them use heat. Some of them use, oils as a base, like a vegetable oil. So let me just go ahead and check this out a little bit. So this particular one, lavender and chamomile. Okay, so it does, yes, exactly. So it has the grape extract, it has vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. and a few other things. But here's the research that I found when I was first researching these aroma sticks, vape sticks, several years ago when they first came out. And my research showed me that I wasn't as concerned with the essential oils being breathed in, although some of the blends are not going to be safe for some people. But what was the most troubling is the vegetable glycerin base that should not be inhaled into the lungs. It's very unsafe. You can go to pubmed.com or .org, whichever one it is, and you can look it up yourself. You can do your own research on this, but the vegetable glycerin is not meant to be breathed in. We know that oil and water don't mix. Our lungs are filled with water. If we're breathing in oil, it's going to do damage to our lungs over time. Now, if you've used one of those a time or two, it's probably going to be okay. Nobody dies on the first cigarette either, right? But over time, it can do damage to your lungs that's not reversible. So I would use severe caution when using any sort of vaping sticks or aroma sticks. Just use a personal inhaler. There is no need to smoke it or heat it or steam it or anything. It's pure essential oils on the wick and you breathe it in. It's that simple, and there's nothing else that needs to be added. Alrighty. Jesse has a question. Let's see. Unfortunately, you are welcome, Katie. You are so welcome. Unfortunately, Jesse, I cannot click add to broadcast, but I can read your comment. If you have an infant in the home, is diffusing basically totally off limits? Or if they are in another room, it's okay. It is fine if they're in another room. The key is for them not to breathe it. So if they are in another room and they're not breathing it, that's fine. If you want to use a personal inhaler so that you can get the benefits but not expose your baby, that's fine. And there's a lot of information in the Learning Center about this when you enroll and click the Children's tab. So if you go to leahjacobson.com/learn, this will pop up. Click not a member. If you haven't enrolled yet, you can enroll for absolutely free, and there's a wealth of information over there. Once you are in, click the Children tab for information on the different essential oils that are safe for children. Generally, we want to avoid exposing children under the age of 6 months to the inhalation of essential oils. If you have any specific questions relating to that, if you have specific essential oils you're asking about, please let me know. But there is also information in the Learning Center. There's a list of essential oils that are safe. There's a list of essential oils that are not safe. You can also run by any of the singles or any of the blends by these safety files. There is a free level of access if you scroll to the bottom of these pages. So I've assessed over 700 individual blends over in the safety files for blends, and there's over 240 single safety files as well that tells you all of the safety. Tells you what ages it's safe to inhale, what ages it's safe to apply topically, any drug interactions, any safety issues at all are going to be found in both of those resources. And again, free levels are available. Okay, so Courtney has a question about brands. So let me go ahead and tag her here. Courtney's question is, I don't know if this is the correct place to ask this, but could anyone provide me with some reputable non-MLM essential oil brands? I am looking to begin diffusing oils in our home, but the MLM prices seem high. Yes. So the thing about MLM businesses in general is they do add up to, or at least around about 40% of their costs are built into their products to cover for uplines and downlines and trips and all of that. So you will pay more for essential oil companies that choose to use the MLM brand model. The MLM model. And that's fine. They can have completely high quality stuff, but like you mentioned, Courtney, you want to not have to spend that much if you don't have to. And you really don't. There's a lot of brands out there that are safe, that are high quality, that are just as great, and you don't have to spend all of that extra money. And I do have that information more than I can even go into right here in our learning center at leahjacobson.com/learn, and you can click on the brands tab. And I did talk about this a few minutes ago when someone asked about it, but I do have a checklist in there that you can download where you can go to the website and you can see if that's a company you want to choose from. I do have a list of my brands. I have a list of brands that I personally use. I have a list of brands that I personally don't use. If you are interested in that, I don't want to get into brand wars over here in this Facebook group, but you are free to access that as well as a whole list of YouTube videos where I went live, went to all of these various websites and showed you what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. So again, lots of information in our learning center. You are welcome, Jessie. If anyone that's here live has any questions for me, please let me know. I will be live for about 10 more minutes. If you have any questions about essential oils that I can help answer, my name is Leah Jacobson. I'm a certified clinical aromatherapist, and I kind of know my stuff. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you. All right. Yes, so here is a question from Elissa. Let me go ahead and tag her. Her question is about a drink that is sold by a specific company that includes essential oils. I'm seeing the picture here. She's asking if it is safe, if it is worth buying. She wants to know. So I do not recommend consuming drinks or supplements on a daily basis that contain essential oils. And there's a few reasons for that. If you ever need to ingest an essential oil, and 99% of the time, 99% of us will not need to do that. But if there comes a time where ingesting an essential oil the benefits of that is going to outweigh the risks, it's not going to be in a daily drink. It's not going to be in a supplement. You don't want to use essential oils, consume essential oils on a daily basis, especially with no reason. I have reviewed many brands, blends, and drinks and supplements, and almost all of them contain essential oils that are not safe for most people, including essential oils like nutmeg and fennel that are potentially carcinogenic. So if you do choose to ingest essential oils, there's a lot of them you want to stay away from. There's a few that may not be quite as risky, and there's definitely a lot less risky ways to consume an essential oil. But generally, I do not recommend it. And you can find lots of information on why, all those good details over in our learning center, leahjacobson.com/learn. If you are not yet a member, click not a member, enroll for free. Click the ingesting tab, and I have a bunch of info for you over there so that you can understand why I have the stance that I do when it comes to ingesting essential oils. Yes, Nicole. Awesome question from someone here live with me now. Any tips or other resources for using essential oils with dogs? Absolutely. So in our learning center that I just put a link up to, I'm actually going to go ahead and screen share with you some of the information since you are here live. So again, this is in our learning center, which you can find by going to leahjacobson.com/learn. And you can find information over in our pets tab. Let me go ahead and just click on that. Why is it being weird? Maybe I'm like so zoomed in here for those of you on mobile and I can't get it. There we go. So we have a tab for pets. We have several tabs that talk about dogs. We talk about cats. We talk about using essential oils with other pets as well. And all of this information is over here. So this is what I would recommend that you access for your information about dogs. We have an introduction here to kind of explain about dogs a little bit and what the safety issues or concerns could be, and just general rules about using essential oils with dogs. I talk about how to select the essential oils to use with dogs, and you're actually going to have your dog self-select the essential oils. It's really interesting, so please read this information. It would take me several long minutes to read through all of this for you, but I've pointed you to where you can find the information. I do have a list of essential oils that are safe to use with dogs. We know this. These are safe. We have information about using essential oils with dogs topically, and there are different dilution guidelines than there would be for humans, as I'm sure that you could imagine. We have information on using hydrosols with dogs instead of essential oils. And then we talk about the controversial tea tree issue, where some people have heard tea tree is not safe with dogs, and I explain where they're getting that information from and why I disagree. So there's a ton of information over here for you to access. If you have specific questions, please go ahead and let me know now if you have specific questions or after reading through that information. But again, you can find all of that by going to leahjacobson.com/learn, and you can enroll for free and click the pets tab. Lisa's question. You are welcome, Nicole. Happy to help. Lisa's question, can essential oils help in cleaning the liver? If so, how to use? If you are interested in doing this, using essential oils to cleanse the liver, I would highly recommend getting in touch with a certified clinical aromatherapist that has training with aromatic medicine or internal use. Generally, you are wanting to look to herbs for help cleansing the liver. Herbs have been used for a lot longer than essential oils. We know which ones work for helping with the liver. We know which ones to avoid. They're going to be a lot safer to use and a lot more effective than trying to use essential oils, which generally are not going to work. In fact, consuming essential oils too often can actually put a burden on the liver. So I personally recommend herbs over essential oils when it comes to cleansing the liver. Again, if you overdo essential oils specifically with ingesting, you are actually going to burden the liver and make it worse. So check out herbs. We do have a sister group. It's called Learning About Using Herbs Safely, and you can access that group for more information too. I am a certified herbalist, by the way, but I'm not as fluent in advice specifically with herbs as I am with essential oils because I haven't answered as many questions, and you guys love me for answering your essential oil questions, so that's kind of my thing right now. Carol's question, are Copaiba soft gels by an MLM safe? I don't recommend ingesting Copaiba. I know that it's super popular in certain companies. They're recommending it for pain, but honestly, Copaiba is amazing when used topically for pain. It is not recommended to ingest essential oils for pain. Now, what you can do for pain is you can ingest the herb of turmeric with black pepper. It's amazing for inflammation. It's amazing for pain. Ginger tea is amazing. Again, not the essential oil, but the herb. They do make supplements that are pre-ground, the turmeric mixed with black pepper, and that is super effective. But I do not recommend ingesting Copaiba soft gels for any reason. That is not one of the ways that ingesting is going to be beneficial. Great question. Okay, we have a few minutes before I'm going to get off. So if you have any questions while I am here, please add them to the comments below. If you are catching the replay, you can ask your question here, and when I see it, I can answer it. Let's see. So here is another question about kids and supplements that I'm going to tag her in. And this is another question about chewable vitamins that contain essential oils. So to reiterate, Helen, because I tagged you here at the spot, I do not recommend daily ingestion of essential oils. Ingesting has its place. It's probably going to be extremely rare for everyone here. If you ever use it, 99% of us, 99% of the time, won't need to. And giving your children chewables with essential oils in them is not recommended. So I do not recommend that. And if you want to cross-reference yourself the specific essential oils added, actually, I'm going to click on this myself because I'm super curious. But a lot of the times, the essential oils added aren't even safe for that age group. So I'm going to go ahead and assume there's probably at least one essential oil in this multivitamin marketed for children that's not safe for children. Probably also at least one that's not safe for anyone. So let's take a peek. Okay, so there's vitamins in here, and that's all well and good. That's not original. Okay, so we have, what essential oils are in here? We have a lot of extracts, so that's good. It's not clear if any of these are actually essential oils. So in which case, I would say, as long as you are cool with the vitamin content, the vitamin type, then, I mean, I would be careful about some of the B vitamins. Sometimes they use the cyanocobalamin. I don't think I'm saying that right. Instead of the methylcobalamin. I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied here for a minute. There is a specific kind. I did research on vitamin B several years ago, and I did this entire huge, ridiculously long blog post because I'm a research person and I do that kind of thing. So I do know there's certain types of vitamins that are more better for our body to absorb than others. So if you are okay with the fact that there's only 27 mg's of vitamin C, it looks like there could be a lot more vitamins actually in this blend. But that being said, I am not seeing that there's any essential oils actually added here. I see there's a lot of, beetroot juice powders and things like that. So again, if you are okay with the contents of these things, I am not seeing that there's any essential oils added. Unless they're putting it somewhere else, I'm not seeing any. So I guess I would say that's completely up to you. There's no essential oils that I can see that are added, in which case, do as you please. Okay, Cynthia, for some reason I cannot click on your comment to add it to the broadcast, but Cynthia's asking, how about an oil for nausea? I take ginger already, but I have chronic nausea and it's horrible. Yes, so we do have recipes in our EO Recipes Club for that issue. We don't have a free level for that, but I will say that ginger essential oil is also useful. You know what? Let me go ahead, and this is going to be the last question I answer unless somebody else gets one in there really quickly before I get off. But let me go ahead and show you. There is some, I take that back. The recipes specifically aren't free for nausea in the EO Recipes Club, but there is information that is free in the EO Recipes Club that is non-essential oil that I can show you. So if you go to the library, leahjacobson.com/library, you can click to access the recipes. If you aren't already a member, just click not a member or go to the /recipes link and you can enroll over there to access the free level. This is, of course, the VIP level because this is everything. But I want to point you to the introduction. So the introduction for all of these is 100% free for you to access. And it will answer your question. It will give you recommendations and it will give you suggestions. For example, for nausea, we recommend candied ginger. You said you're already doing ginger already. Mints, dried ginger root, dehydrated peppermint leaves, ginger tea, peppermint tea. These are things you're probably already doing or already aware of. But those would be things that are probably going to be the most helpful. There is a personal inhaler recipe for nausea as well on the pay level, so either the member or the VIP. But this information here should also help you. If you can sip ginger tea during the day, that can help. If you know maybe why you're feeling nauseated, that could also be, good to know. I always prefer to solve the problem, like figure out why are you feeling like that? Why am I feeling like this? And try to eliminate that from happening. So if you know why, if it's morning sickness, and that's a whole other story. I have a tab for morning sickness over here. There could be a couple of other things. I thought I had a tab for morning sickness. Oh, let's see. I could have sworn I had one. Maybe I just have the one for nausea. but there is information in our learning center. Let me flip over to there. Access the learning center, pregnancy, breastfeeding, morning sickness over here. And it's basically the same information. Yes, because, I mean, that's the same remedies. Okay, I just wasn't sure if I had anything else over here for that. So those would be the things that I would recommend for you. Again, if anyone has any specific questions or any follow-ups that they need answered, if you have any private information, you can feel free to email me at usingeossafely@gmail.com, and I will do my very best to answer you in a timely manner. And if you haven't heard from me in a few days, email me again. Sometimes my email gets absolutely buried. Okay, gastroparesis. So I think that's, is that also with the sphincter being loose too? Oh, delayed gastric emptying. Okay. So you've probably been recommended to have smaller meals, maybe take supplements or enzymes with your food to help break that down as well. So I'm unsure if inhaling essential oils is actually going to work for this specific issue. You are welcome, Cynthia, but feel free to shoot me an email and we can talk more about this too. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this live. I hope you have learned something. I am going to do my very best to come live regularly. I know it's severely lacking. There's just so much going on outside of this free group that I'm involved with creating and teaching, paying members with, that I just, as much as I think about it all the time to come here live and talk to you guys, it just doesn't seem to always happen. But I just want to remind everyone again to access our learning center for just about everything that was asked in this group tonight, either from everyone live or from the pending posts. The answers are found in the learning center. Really, really easy. It's absolutely free to access. And as a reminder as well, there are other resources that are available for free where you can have your questions answered. If you have any safety questions about essential oil singles, you can access the free level right here at this link, leahjacobson.com/eosingles. If you have any safety questions about any blends you have from companies, I probably will already have a safety file on it. There's over 700 safety files in there from over 42 or 43 different companies that I have personally reviewed and added myself over the last year plus to those safety files. So probably it's going to be in there, and there are, I believe, 47 separate blends that are available at the free level for you to access. So please use these links, scroll down to the bottom of the page and access these for absolutely free. And finally, our recipes. Again, I have a free level. So you may hear me talk about my resources, but there's free levels for just about everything that I offer so that you guys can have something that you can use to keep you and your family using essential oils safely. So I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk to you hopefully sooner rather than later. See ya.